for maybe about a year or so in here, you get a distinct feeling that something is quite uncomfortable near the kind of back of the actual camp, and by that I mean like where the end of the personal tents would be, kind of tucked away in a corner. There's a little feeling of uncomfort. Valia, even though you haven't been very long, because of your the sensing thing you have on and the tight impacting of the camp, you get a similar uneasy sense, but not as strong as those have been around for a long time, because they've just been around. They've actually been around it. In that case, so.
Oh, so we're super used to this. This is old hat.
Yes and no. You don't normally feel it unless you're in tight quarters like this, but you know you felt it before in tight quarters like this. So, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you say it's in the back of the camp, do you mean like something that's in the back of everyone's minds, or do you mean something that's physically in the back of the encampment area?
No, something physically in the back of the encampment area. If you actually... So... I hate doing this on camera, this way I should have a map here, but basically what I'm saying is that if this is the little area here and this is the personal area, back up there would be kind of where the feeling radiates from. So when you're in the area where people come to, like where the customers are, you don't feel it, but when your own personal area, it feels like it's radiating from a point at the back even of that area.
And it's not Pat's tent.
Definitely not my tent.
It's definitely not Pat's tent. So yeah, there you go. That's the camp set up. That's the city that you're in right now. A very large one with a lot of options of stuff. This one is governed by a council. So you have a few people that the wealthy kind of nobility of the city are in charge.
No, sorry, is this the city that we're just moving right through?
Of course, you're being profits and revenues. Sorry, Pat, what was that?
Is this the city that we're just moving like straight through? Sorry, I forgot.
No, this is
the
large
the big one.
This is the big one. This is
the
large amount of people, large city that you're actually settling down in for part of a week before your last show before the really big show kind of thing.
Okay.
You're on a schedule. You can't show up there early anyways.
So I'm struggling a bit because there's this thing happening in the side of the camp, but it's always been happening, and so I'm clearly okay with it. So I don't really want to go check it out.
That's kind of the sense you get, yes. Like, it's, as I said, it's familiar in that it always happens in tight spaces, and the longer you're around, the more you know it does happen, but the more it also is that, oh, it's kind of always there.
Okay.
So, as I said, the person with the detect evil, although not quite detect evil stuff, and your paladin spidey sense stuff.
Divine detection.
Thank you, that thing.
So what?
Although personally, I prefer to call it paladin spidey sense.
So what can we do other than go buy buns or armor or whatever else? Random
No. What? I'll have you know, what else can we do in addition to buying buns?
Okay.
But we don't need to roleplay that. Well, there's two obvious things I want to do.
Buns?
Okay, three obvious things I want to do.
You and me will deal with the buns part on our own later on.
Don't need to deal with the buns. We're just going to buy buns later. Like that's all the talking about it needs.
Okay, I'm joking. Go ahead.
Unless you're going to drop some kind of great plot story, or maybe the proprietor of the bakery is a dragon or something. It's
one-on-one fun adventure. We shall do it. But continue. But continue.
I want to investigate whatever that spot is. Like, I mean, you said there's a place where discomfort is radiating from. Surely that needs investigating.
Yeah, except for it's been there forever. I mean,
yeah.
Pat would say, well, that's always there, whatever.
That doesn't make it not interesting.
That's happened.
Well, why wouldn't we look at it before?
Yeah, right? I don't. Why has it just come up now?
Because for you two, you don't have the same sense that the paladin does have. For you two, it just grew on you kind of in a way, and it's weird to liken it to something that just kind of pokes on you until you just get used to it. But that's kind of what it's like for the people who've been around there for a while. That is actually why Valia probably does notice it in a more discomforting level than you two. It didn't grow on her, it just suddenly happened. And that same level that you two have adjusted to.
Okay, so if Valia wants to go check it out, I guess I'd go with her.
And the other thing that I want to do, which probably doesn't
No,
call
let's
for
just
any...
do that. Let's just do that.
We'll totally do that. I just want to finish my list. The third thing was just I want to visit the Temple of Ilmater, because there's probably one in a city this size. But that probably doesn't call for role-playing, unless, once again, the proprietor is a dragon.
So, in that case, just when you're ready, let me know what you want to do there, and we'll slot that in for time. So, if you're going to do the camp thing, though,
Yeah.
you head to the backward corner of the camp. As you all get close to it, you are getting some very go-away vibes. Like, you don't see me, go away, leave me alone.
Okay.
Now this is new to the two of you, because you got used to it and it's just like, sort of been at the edge of your mind pushing you away. But now that you're pushing against it, now you've noticed it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's clearly bad.
What do you do?
I keep going.
They're not saying anything.
Yeah, I mean, we can go.
Yeah, you can go on.
Don't really care about a few glares.
Yeah.
Oh no, nothing's glaring at you. It's a feeling on you. It's, roll some perceptions for me, please.
I've got to get a better way to do this.
There's actually a way through the
Ooh, yeah.
character sheet.
Yeah, but I find it takes too many clicks. I don't like it. I want to just, like, make a macro for literally everything or something.
Really? Okay. I just keep my character sheet open in another window. All I need to do is just
Yeah,
double
me too.
click on a thing and roll it. Like, that's it. Just double click, roll. Double click,
I
roll.
just don't have enough space. I think I'm gonna like print this sheet out. Anyway, keep going.
No problem. Nice rolls, by the way. So, Valia, you do notice that actually what has been in Travels thought to be kind of an empty area of the camp when the camp's been more spread out isn't actually. There is something there. Lida, sadly, you do think this is still an empty area camp. What the heck is going on? You kind of still get the sense that something is there, but you don't see it. Pat, however, goes, "Look, it's right there! Oh my god, you guys, there's a shimmer! And it looks so pretty! It's right there!" Nice nat 20.
Did they see it now that I've pointed it out?
Yes, with you pointing it out that way, they can all see kind of that there's something like a sun haze shimmer in that empty field. Valia probably seen the dents in the grass a little bit, but you can actually see like the outline of a tent that is not supposed to be seen.
Is there seriously an invisible tent?
There was seriously an invisible tent. And until you guys were in a cramped quarters, you didn't have a reason to feel it. Well, not reason. It wasn't pushing at your senses, if that makes more sense. It was kept far enough away that you never didn't notice it. But you're in a huge town with not a lot of space.
Does it feel evil?
No. It just feels odd. Not evil, there's nothing like that radiating it from it. It's got discomfort, but what you're thinking is it's trying to actually keep anyone from getting close to it and looking into it. So now what do you do?
It's
But
got
now
a
we found
somebody.
it. Let's
It's got
go
a
look.
somebody else's problem field on it.
Yes.
There you
let's
go.
go look at it.
Exactly what it is.
Because whatever's in there is interesting, and I obviously think it's pretty.
Unfortunately, paladins are highly nosy busybodies. Somebody else's problem fields attract them.
Nice.
Make this somebody else's problem. Nope. Alright, so you head up to the tent and do you head in or you just look around it at first?
Well, let's look around first. Let's not be ridiculous.
Okay, everyone else?
I'm gonna make sure I've got my stick
Yeah.
with me.
Alright, as you're looking around it, this does seem slightly larger than some of the personal tents that you've seen around, or even caravan wagons that people have stayed in. it does question, like, how did we not notice this traveling with us? But of course, the don't pay attention to me field kind of, probably you can guess is why. Within the shimmer, you can see it's probably a very, it's weird to say because it's, you still can't quite see it, even though you're looking right at it. I'm trying to describe it. It's thicker, there's not really, that you can tell anywhere that there's an entrance-ish, like you can see, the grass part's away from an area that looks like where people would actually walk in, walk out of the tent. You don't see anything in it that looks like another way in other than that. And it seems to be set up in a way that does not have ropes or, what are they called? Titans.
Rigging type things?
Yeah, it doesn't have anything that kind of stuff in. If it does have it, it must be internalized, and there's nothing actually holding it tight to the ground outside at all.
Stakes, I think. I think pythons is the thing for rock climbing.
Thank you, stakes then, yes. Hello, do we have an Ashley back? Tess?
Maybe?
Maybe. Let's give her a moment to see if we do before you guys decide what you're gonna do about the tent.
Well, so we didn't see anything, right? Like, we just saw a tent that's holding itself up. So I guess that's not nothing, but we didn't see any suspicious people or...
No one's come in or out of it that you guys have seen right now.
And
We
nobody's...
didn't
Okay.
see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, even now that you guys are looking right at it, you're still getting the sensation of trying to look past it. Like, it's still trying to get you to look away from it. And you now recognize it and you know.
Well, Valia, you're super nosy. Why don't you go first? I'll be right behind you.
I'll just glare at Pat and then
You
Have a look.
self-identify as nosy all the time.
and then have a
Valia.
look. And then have a look.
You peek your head in.
I peek the tip of my stick in first.
The tip of your stick is unharmed.
Okay, then it's probably okay for head.
Alright, looking in the tent.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Looking in the
You're going first.
What?
Do you mean... Apparently she is.
Mhm.
Now, yeah, looking in the tent, peeking around, it's actually pretty spacious inside, surprisingly enough, for what it looked like on the outside, even more so. You're not sure how it pulls
It's
it off.
bigger on
but
the inside?
It's bigger on the inside. Yes, thank you, I guess. Not that much, though. It does not have hidden rooms like the TARDIS does. It just makes the most of its space, it seems. In the middle of it is a very ancient elf, and that is a weird thing to actually think, because you don't know that you've ever seen an elf actually look ancient before. The high elf sits there in the middle of the tent, and then turns and regards you very warily, and just narrows their eyes, and it's like, what are you doing here?
Hi,
Saying hello?
I'm Pat.
I know all
Well,
of
who
it.
are you? That's
Well, I've
very
never
rude.
seen you before, and I've been here for like a year.
I do my best to not be seen.
You are rude. Let's introduce each other properly. I'm Pat. And I hold my hand out.
Jalen?
Yes?
In character. Okay.
They kind of look at your hand.
It's the 7 charisma, okay?
No, that's fair. That's fine.
Well, I'm not saying the player
Yeah,
is wrong to
yeah,
do
I
that. I'm
know,
just
yeah,
saying.
No. It's just, that's Valia going, oh boy.
Mhm.
Eliminel kind of regards you for a moment.
Oh, we just found her name. Jalen said her name.
I did say her name. She hasn't said her name, but I said her name. There you go. If you want to know how to spell that,
Nope. I've already made up a spelling, and I'm gonna throw it at you the first time I have to write it.
oh no. So the liminal kind of looks at the hand and looks up at Pat and goes, "Yes, I know you, fortune teller."
But I still don't